Now? Perfect. Well, we always try to allow a little time to warm up. We need 6 for a quorum, and we think that they're coming. So we're going to wait for just a few minutes to start the meeting. But we're glad you're all here.
Is this the right one?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Right here, James Cooper.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm okay. Good to see you.
Great to see you too. How's OCU?
Well, you know, I'm trying to keep it in good shape for you. So thank you for the honor.
We were waiting on one more. We need 6 for a quorum.
Can I voice vote, Tom?
Pardon me?
Can I voice vote?
Yeah.
No, I do, I can't.
Hey, Mike. How are
How are
you?
you, sir?
I'm all right. How are you holding up?
Good.
Yeah, good to see you.
Sure. Oh, here we go. Kim Lowe.
Yes, rain, snow, sleet, or hailing.
Love that. Well, Carol, I believe we have a quorum, so we're going to call the meeting to order, and I want to begin by welcoming Councilman James Cooper, who has been appointed by the mayor as the council's representative on this group. You follow an elite list of people that we've had over 12 years, always having a member of the council here, and we welcome you and are glad you're here to participate with us and carry our messages back to the city council.
Thank you.
You bet. Glad to have you here. We have before you the minutes of our previous meeting on March the 30th. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Bob?
Yeah, I noticed at the top of the minutes it indicated that Kim and Zane and Michael Adams were absent. Actually, I think it was Mike Dover, Nathaniel Harding, and Cecilia Robinson Woods who were absent. We need to get that corrected.
Okay.
That was probably a copy and paste from something earlier, but
So, all right. Another correction. Did someone here say have a correction? All right. Then before you, you have the minutes and as corrected. Shall we approve them? It's been moved by Bob Nayland, seconded by Zane Boatwright, that we approve the minutes as corrected. Is there further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Oh, I get to vote. All right. Cast your votes. How are we doing? It passed. Well, as we move through the agenda, I wanted to mention to those of you who are visiting, we've been doing this for almost 12 years now. So if it seems we're a little folksy, we are. We've all gotten to know each other really well over the course of the past 12 years. So, and as we are kind of headed for home on MAPS 3, we're all in good spirits about how things have gone, and maybe a little less formal than we were the first day we started. So that brings us then to item 3 on the agenda, and let's first consider item A. David?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You have in your packet the MAPS 3 revenue and expenditure report for the period ending March 31st, 2022. On the revenue side for the month, $64,275, fiscal year of $948,402, and for a total of $837,213,781. On the expenditure side for the month, $1,831,864, fiscal year of $22,422,872, and total $766,283,147. Then you also have the budget and obligations report in your packet, and I will try to answer any questions if you have any.
All right, are there questions for David or comments? Hi, Dee, welcome. Questions or comments? Shall we receive it? Been moved by Zane Boatright, seconded by Kimberly Lowe, that we accept the report as presented. Further discussion? All in favor, cast your vote. It passed. That brings us then to item B under 3, David.
Thank you. Item B is recommend approval of final plans and specifications to be advertised for bids, project M3-R009E, Oklahoma River Sports Water Filtration System Improvements, 800 Riversport Drive, Ward 7. We have a presentation today to show you what this project is about. Mr. Tony Blatt from Blatt Architects is here.
Tony, welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, board members. So down at the river, we've done several projects with the money that was taken care of in MAPS 3, and this is one of the very final ones. It's an opportunity to improve the aesthetic appearance of the water, so we're doing this with a filtration system. As you might know, the way that this process is being done is we have gone through a procurement process, which was the M3-R009D project, in which we actually selected the equipment that was going to be used for the project. Rather than asking the general contractors to be able to select equipment from a performance spec, we went through this process early. We identified exactly what the system would be, and now the contractor is specifically charged with just installing it. The intent is that we will save both time and money in this process. So R3009D was the process to select the equipment. That's already occurred. And now we're doing R3009E, and that will be a general contract to actually install the equipment. So the map that you have in front of you is the site plan of the rapids, and over to the right in dark blue is the location of the current pump house. And in that pump house is where this enhanced filtration system is going to be installed. The primary filters are already there, and the WaterTech approved polishing filters are going to be what gets installed. That's the part that has already gone through the procurement process. It's been identified and is sitting to be incorporated into the general contractor's scope of work. After that, it will go through an ozonation process and then out into the rapids channel. This is the shop drawing that was created from the successful WaterTech project, the R3009D, or M3-R009D. This project is what will be incorporated into this work. So this is the shop drawing that was created. It's part of our bid documents. So the general contractor knows exactly this is the pipe size. This is how much power is needed, and this is where it is located. Again, a little bit different, but the intent is that we're giving the contractor a specific item that they will install exactly, hopefully trying to make it much, much easier. So these were the shop drawings that were created. We know that we're going to have 5 horizontal filter tanks, that we're going to remove 95% of the organics in the project, that it's going to go through the approved crystal silica sand filter media. That's all to improve the aesthetics of the water before it enters the channel. So then we took the shop drawings that were created by WaterTech, our engineer reviewed those, and then they incorporated it into these construction documents for the projects. This is the mechanical demolition documents showing what will need to be done inside of the existing pump house to incorporate the new filtration system. This is the showing what the new equipment is going to be that gets put into the pump house. So this is the contractor's going to take the equipment that's already been through the procurement process, and he's going to install it inside of the existing building. There's existing electrical systems that are in the pump house. We're going to have a power draw for the new filtration equipment. We've told the contractor this is the exact specification of the power that's going to be required, and then he will go ahead and have his electrical subcontractor incorporate the work. And then this is how that panel tie-in is going to occur within the building. So the filtration system that went through the procurement process has a budget of $716,702. That's a fixed number. And then the budget that we're going to be using for installation, which is the scope that we're sending out right now for general construction, is $833,000. So the intent is in April, we're going to do both the subcommittee and advisory board meetings. We're going to do our city council approval, hopefully, at the beginning of May, out to be submitted out for bidding in the beginning of May. Bidding occurs May through June. In June, we would be then awarding the contract. The filtration system that was procured would arrive on site in August, and from July through October, that's whenever the contract for construction would be executed. And I would be happy to answer any questions. Yes.
I noticed you're saying July through August of '22 for construction. Isn't that almost like the height of
It is.
the season?
That is
And
that
isn't
is
that
when.
going to interfere?
Well, no, the intent is, so this is all happening up in the actual pump house space, and the contractor would be working to where it does not interfere with the operation of the space. There would be work that would have to be done so that the contractor can do their work. A lot of this work is going to be prepared off-site and brought in. There will be some impact. We had a conversation with the operator, with Mike Knopp, about how that's going to work during his peak season.
So I think the key, Tony, is also that this equipment can be built and placed in there without actually being in service and in line, and then it's cut into the system
Correct.
at one time.
Okay, so there are no infiltration pumps there at all right now?
This will be an additional filtration pump after, so it's going to be basically an
Smaller
enhanced.
diameter.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Is this a piece of equipment that River Sports is going to be able to maintain themselves, or are they going to have to contract that out?
I don't know how they plan to maintenance this equipment. I know that there is a maintenance procedure as a part of operating it. It's got sand filtration media that will need to be maintained over time. I don't know if they're going to handle it in-house or if they're going to operate it through a third party.
But it's not extremely complicated mechanism. As Tony said, it's a sand filter, which is very similar to what most people have, or a lot of people have in their pools at home. Certainly commercial operations use that system, and probably the most significant thing is making sure you backwash them to get them, making sure they're working. So it's not a whole lot of mechanical stuff.
Thank you.
When we finish the PowerPoint presentation, you just click the X up there and it'll take you back to the vote.
Other questions? Dee, was this presented to your subcommittee?
I did not go to the subcommittee meeting, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's had other-
It was presented to the subcommittee. There was no quorum, but those in attendance recommended that we should send it on to the advisory board.
Oh, okay.
And this will make the water a lot better. right?
Yes. That's what the intent, the whole intent is, that it makes the water, the aesthetics of the water much better.
All right, other questions? Shall we approve it? It's been moved by Zane Boatright, seconded by Kimberly Lowe, that we approve the final plans and specifications. Is there further discussion? Cast your vote. It has passed unanimously.
Thank you.
That moves us then to item C, David.
Item C is recommend approval of final plans and specifications to be advertised for bids. Project M3-W005, Maps 3 Sidewalks Phase 5 in 4 locations, Wards 1, 4, and 8. If you'll recall, we did 4 original large projects on sidewalks. As we wrap those up, there's leftover money in there just because the uncertainty of how much projects cost. We don't take them right to the edge. So we bundled that money and created this 5th project. And Lydia Leslie from Kimley Horn is here today to tell you about this new project.
Welcome.
Thank you. And Kimley Horn appreciates being able to work on this project. Thank you. So this project, like many of the other sidewalk projects, is to fill in the gaps in sidewalks that exist and to improve the ADA paths in those areas. And this specific project will connect some sidewalks and trails. So an overview of our limits of the projects, it's broken up into some small segments. If you see on the bottom of your screen, the first area is in the south part of Oklahoma City, and then the second portion is in the northern part of Oklahoma City, in the northwest side. So diving into this project, we wanted to align some things as base bid items and some things as alternates. Because of the fluctuation in the pricing right now in today's market, we felt like that was the best path forward for this project and aligning with the construction budget. So the first of the base bid sidewalk segments is along South Grand Boulevard. And if you've seen this picture, to the left bottom of the screen is Cesar Chavez Elementary School, and to the right is Lindsay Avenue. So this base bid alignment would be connecting Lindsay Avenue and the proposed paths that are going there to Cesar Chavez Elementary School. And I also want to point on this picture, in the median of South Grand Boulevard, there's the South Canadian Boulevard Trail. So these potential sidewalks will be aligning with and tying into that trail as well. So on this segment, it's 0.1 miles, and it has the connection paths to Cesar Chavez and Lindsay. The next element of the base bid sidewalks is Lindsay Avenue. This is rotated in view. North is to my right, just to give you orientation. This will connect Southeast 29th Street to 44th Street. And again, it'll connect into that Grand Boulevard Trail I just spoke of and to the trails in the middle of the sidewalk, of the median of Grand Boulevard. This segment is 1.0 miles. And then another piece of sidewalk base bid item is Hefner Road. This is just on the south side of Hefner Road by the Whitehall neighborhood. It'll be tying in the Whitehall Boulevard to have capacity for those citizens to utilize and connect in to the sidewalk system on the north side of Hefner Road around Ann Arbor. A crossing there is at a signal. There is already some existing ramps and light fixtures there for signalization of pedestrians. And this path connects the users to the Bluff Creek Trail on the north side of Hefner. It extends to Bluff Creek Trail on our north, and it'll extend to future trails along the south side of Lake Hefner. This is 0.13 miles. Then we move into our alternate sections. The first alternate is on the west side of Cesar Chavez School. As you'll see in this picture, Cesar Chavez is to my right, and the Grand Boulevard Trail, we're making a connection there at Cesar Chavez to the trail. This extends to the west across a railroad track area. You'll see a white segment that's already some existing sidewalk in that area that we'll be connecting to, and then to Stiles Avenue on the west. This is 0.19 miles. And then the last alternate is a segment along Meridian Avenue. It will be placed on the west side of Meridian Avenue. This will connect into 122nd Street and all the way to Bluff Creek Trail on the south end of this. This is 0.66 miles. So our schedule, we hope to be bidding very soon after this is all approved. And then moving on to our construction, we estimate a 6 months construction timeline, with it completing in early 2023. So our overall budget for this project was a little over $1 million. And like I estimated, we have those 3 segments of base bid alternates that would be a price tag of $513,765. and alternate number 1, the west side of Grand Boulevard, would be $122,451. And alternate number 2 would be $271,297. So a total of under $1 million for the entire project. But like I said, we wanted to segment those into base bid and alternates because of the fluctuating costs that are going on in the market today. So with that, if you have any questions.
Questions?
Mr. Chairman, we did not have a quorum yesterday at our meeting, but we did recommend that we bring this forward to the advisory board this morning.
Thank you, Zane. David, I guess we'd all like to feel like when we started this, one of our goals was to develop a long-term plan for sidewalks, and I guess we could assume this is conforms to that plan that was developed at the beginning.
Right, so these alignments really started with what Better Streets, Safer City was doing and the priorities that they had established. And we went through their list to determine where we should be going next, what met with our budget, what we could fit in, substantial discussion within the subcommittee. So we continue to try and execute that plan.
Bob?
Just a question, are we anticipating a single contractor to do all three, or are we accepting bids, individual projects?
It'll be one. And the reason why we have the alternates, like Lydia said, was because we're a little spooked on the fluctuation of prices right now. So we didn't want to take it right to the edge and miss it. So this gives us plenty of room to award alternates based on those prices, but it'll be one contractor.
Okay, thank you.
But the priority's been set, so if we're gonna do one, and if we have enough money, we'll do the base bid alignments. If there's enough money, we'll do alternate 1. If there's even more money, we'll do alternate 2. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
So that priority's been established.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions? Shall we approve it? All right, it's been moved by Kimberly Lowe and seconded by Zane Boatwright that we approve the plan. Cast your vote. It passed. Thank you,
Thank you
Lydia.
very much.
Appreciate you being here today. All right, that, I think, David, brings us then to item D.
Yes, sir.
Under item 3.
Item D is recommend approval of contract for engineering services with Team Design PLLC Project M3-T007, Maps 3 Katy Trail Connections, vicinity of Northeast 10th, between Grand Boulevard and Windermere Avenue, and vicinity of Northeast 23rd Street and southbound I-35 Service Road, and Project M3-T008, Maps 3 Air Depot Trail, Air Depot Boulevard between 59th and I-240, fee of $222,000, wards 4 and 7. Continuing on with the Trails and Sidewalks Subcommittee, this is a trails project that had extensive discussion through several months to land on this, and what it is, as the description says, is some connections for the Katy Trail at 10th and at 23rd to allow people to be able to get up on and off of that trail in those areas. And then the Air Depot Trail helps connect the system to what we've done at Draper Lake. And this is all within the plans within the planning department on the trail master plan. So this is it for engineering of those projects.
So again, Mr. Chairman, we did not have a full quorum, but as David reminded us, this has been an ongoing discussion for almost a year, just about, and we recommended that it come before the board for approval.
Okay, thank you. Are we all kind of missing Michael Adams today?
I'm sure Mike would approve.
I'm sure he'd vote to approve it even if it wasn't his favorite. Okay, further discussion? Shall we approve it? It has been moved by Zane Boatwright, seconded by Dee Morales, that we approve. Is there further discussion? Cast your ballot. It has been adopted and approved. That brings us into item 4 on our agenda, new business. Any member of the advisory board have an item of new business, or David?
I do not.
Okay. I guess we're more into old business than we are new business. All right, that brings us to item 5. Are there any subcommittee reports on things we have not already considered today? Okay, item 6, David, an update on the program.
I'm happy to tell you that construction on the 2 wellness centers is going well. Wellness 3 on Lincoln Boulevard is almost enclosed right now. And the pool is in, it's been leak tested, that's how far along they are on that. Structural steel is going up on Wellness 4. Lower Park continues, it's really taking shape now, and it's really starting to look like a park. There's over 600 trees that have been planted down there, the promenade is in, getting ready to do some sod, so like I said, it's really taking shape. And then we've got these sidewalks that we're anxious to get started on, and this trail work.
Great. Any questions for David?
David, on the Southern Park side there, are the courts that are going to be installed, are they in yet?
Yeah.
I think, okay.
Yep, they've been poured, and they've got lights on them, and they've even progressed such that some of the small plants are going in.
Good.
David, would you refresh my recollection, what's our anticipated opening date for the
So
South Park?
substantial completion is first part of September of this year. And that's when, right now, I guess it's okay to spill the beans, that we're planning a ribbon cutting first part of September.
Okay, great.
That's great news. All right. Any other questions for David on the ongoing projects? That brings us to item 7, comments by board. I have this comment. I want to tell you, each of you, thank you for making the effort to be here today. It's we've been at this a long time, and we have a little less to do than we have had in the past. And I know that you're all busy, and I just personally appreciate the commitment you've made to come and make sure we have a quorum and conduct the remaining business that we have to do, because I'm really anxious for us to finish in high style here, and it looks like we're well on the way to doing that. Okay, that then brings us to item 8. Mike Dover had asked for the honor of moving for adjournment. So cast your votes on adjournment. We're adjourned.